More than just the headlines. WFLA. The following is a paid program. The views expressed are those of the host and callers and not those of News Radio 102.5, its management, or advertisers.
Welcome to You Have Power Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark. You Have Power is your opportunity to get answers to your legal questions. To be a part of today's program, call 407-916-674-1025 or toll free at 855-545-1025. The lines are now open. But now, here's your host, Orlando's drive time attorney, Justin Clark.
Wow, moving up in the world, Tom Benson. How are you, buddy? Good to see you. Happy Friday night to you. You're listening to me, Justin Clark, Behind the Law, right here on News Radio 102.5. Hope you're not stuck in traffic. Hope you have a fantastic weekend planned. If you have any legal questions, I want you to go ahead and give us a call. 321-282-1055. The website, as always, is www.youhave.
Welcome to You Have Power Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark. You Have Power is your opportunity to get answers to your legal questions. To be a part of today's program, call 407-916-674-1025 or toll free at 855-545-1025. The lines are now open. But now, here's your host, Orlando's drive time attorney, Justin Clark.
Welcome back to the program, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Justin Clark, right here on News Radio 102.5. If you have any legal questions, go ahead and get on the line. The phone number right here, we are live in the studio, is 407-916-5400. Now, some of you are going to have legal questions before the end of this program, and I understand you don't want to talk to me on the air. That's why I have attorneys standing by at the law firm, and the phone number at the law firm is 321-282-1055. Plenty of information as well on the website. All you've got to do is go to www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. Pushing the buttons on the other side of the glass is Tom Benson. Tom, you're normally not pushing the buttons on the show.
No, I'm not. But Rob,
what's up tonight?
Rob called in, said he had
the flu.
He was sneezy.
Oh,
I said, well, I'm
gracious.
dopey. So what? I'm here anyway.
What is he, in kindergarten? I mean, come on. Sneezy?
I think he's just a bit under the weather.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Sneezy. So, I have a 4-year-old. I talk about her all the time. Her name is Sophia.
Sure.
She literally, for the first time, so she started pre-K.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? Pre-K? VPK? Something like that. I don't know what it's called. All right. So for the first time ever yesterday, I woke her up to get her ready for school, and she pulled the fake sick thing.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever had this? Is the first time it's happened.
Sure.
And I promise you, Tom, she was not sick. But she pulled the whole, it was a full-blown fake sick. And I said, Pilar, Pilar's her mom, my wife. I said, Pilar, she is faking it. We need to take her to school. And, of course, I go to work. I get a call about, half hour later. Yeah, I think she is sick, Justin. We're not going to take her to school today.
Yeah.
I said, look, I know for a fact that she was faking it. By the time I got home, perfectly fine.
She's 4?
4.
How does she learn to pull that kind of a stunt?
It must be your mother, Tom. It's got to be your mom. I don't know. What a crazy week. I mean, look, I know you're listening, trying to get home as well. What just an unbelievably crazy week. It's weird how we go through this life.
Sure.
And Friday comes around and we're so happy, but you're pooped. You're wiped out.
Yeah.
This is one of those weeks for me. I know you have felt the same way. Just what a crazy week, and you go home, and now we're sitting in traffic. But the only thing I can promise you is I will give you a lot of good information over the next hour and get you home safely, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend planned with your family, whatever you're going to do, have dinner tonight. We're just going and take a little break. Tom, I'm wiped out, man. Have you been getting up early this week or what?
Oh, yeah, every day, every week, yeah. It's the dirge of being a morning man at one time because you always get up like at 4:30 or 5 o'clock to get to work, and that's your new lifestyle, and it hangs with you.
Even to this day, you get up that early?
Sure.
Why?
I sleep in on Saturdays. I get up at 6.
That's getting up late. That's sleeping in.
That's it. Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Next week is the week leading up to Labor Day, so a lot of people are going to try and make it a short week and probably take off Friday.
So can you give me a little update? First of all, I'll give you an update on traffic. It's terrible. I have it right in front of me on the screen. I don't care whatever the lady said on the little break before I came on. It's terrible. And all these little red stop sign looking things here on the Google map I'm looking at, it looks terrible. So just sit with us. We're going to have a good time over the next hour, I promise. We can gripe together, hang out together, but I'm going to give you a lot of great information about taxes because tax time is coming up for you late filers, for you innocent spouses out there, people who have been through a bad marriage and gotten a divorce, yet now you're stuck with the tax bill of your ex-husband or ex-wife. We're going to talk about your ability to possibly get out from having to pay that because the IRS is coming after you. They really are. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the late filers on September 15th and October 15th. Who files September, who files October. Talk about those of you who might owe the IRS a lot of money and you know you can't pay. How do we get it paid off so I can be a nice, beautiful tax-paying citizen again? What are the different ways we can do that? How can we get rid of this IRS debt? We're going to talk about all of that over the next hour right here on Behind the Law with me, Justin Clark, on News Radio 102.5, 407-916-5400. If you want to call in live, if you want to talk to me off the air, talk to one of my lawyers off the air, that phone number is 321-282-1055. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter, all that stuff, at ATTY Justin Clark. So, Tom Benson, we don't have Rob here pushing the buttons, so you're going to push all the buttons today, but a lot of people don't understand that people who are self-employed typically don't file their taxes on April 15th. They just don't. And why don't they do that? Because if you're a W-2 employee, you want to file your taxes on the first day you can because you've been paying in pretty much every single paycheck you're paying in. So you want to file as quickly as possible because you're going to get money back. But if you're self-employed, for the most part, you've been taking distributions or you've been writing yourself a check here or there, and you want to stop the bleeding as long as you can. So you file that extension to September for the corporation or to October if you're an individual. And I want to go to line one while we're here on this subject about taxes and when to file. Richard in Orlando, welcome to the program. How are you, sir?
And as you go to him, he hangs up.
I guess I already answered Richard's question.
Yeah, that could be.
How'd that go?
All right.
But so a lot of people don't understand that you do have an ability to file. It's an automatic extension, okay? So everyone says April 15th.
Mm-hmm.
That's the day you got to file your taxes. But for those of you out there who are self-employed, you understand you want to, first of all, you're just too busy. You're too busy running your business, paying your employees, making sure your vendors are covered, making sure you have enough revenue coming in. That's just how it works. So you want to file this extension. And the extension is an automatic extension for businesses until September 15th, okay? But you can also file an extension for your individual tax returns until October. And it only makes sense because if you own a business, you can't file your individual tax return until your corporate tax return is done. So that's why you can file your individual return later. But now we're sitting here late August, and these tax times are coming up soon. And I want to caution you against something. Maybe you have not filed tax returns in a few years, or maybe you've been getting the little white envelope from the IRS saying you owe them money. And you say, I'm going to keep punting it. I'm just going to keep punting this problem down the road. And that's what I want to caution you against. Because if you do that, if you keep punting the problem, the Internal Revenue Service is going to come and they're going to take your money. Now, it takes them a few years to catch up with you, Tom.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It'll take them a few years to catch up with you. But ultimately, they will. And there's no better time than right now when the new tax returns are coming due to repair your old problems.
Absolutely.
To repair the old misdeeds because the IRS wants you to be a solid tax-paying citizen.
And they want your money.
Richard on line one, welcome back to the show in Orlando. Richard, how are you?
Yes, fine. Thank you, sir.
What's the question?
Okay, the question is, I've inherited my brother's estate here in Orlando, and it's paid for. And I recently, I've only been out here about 6 days. A couple of days ago, ironically enough, the tax assessor assessed the property at $191,000. I would like, because I have children of my own, I would like to go to a reverse mortgage. How do they figure out what they're going to give you when say the property's worth $200,000 as far as taxes are concerned? Do you go to $300,000? Do you do it to $250,000? How is it generally done?
I mean, that's a great question. It's a question on a few different fronts. First of all, you're talking about reverse mortgages, which, they get a bad rap a lot of times. But, Richard, how old are you, first of all?
82.
82. Well, welcome, Rich. How are you from Orlando? Or where are you from here?
Well, look, if you pull me up on, if you people pull me up on the Google,
Yeah.
my name is Dick Steinborn, Steinbors.
Right.
I was a professional wrestler for 33 years.
Get out of
My dad-
here.
Yeah, my dad promoted wrestling at the sports stadium. His name was Milo Steinborn. I inherited his property. It's worth about $300,000.
Right.
But at the same time, he lived to be 95 years of age because he was in good health, and so am I. I was a personal trainer. We retired for 30 years. I'm moving back down to Orlando, and now I have this house. It's a brick house on this block that's cinder block. It used to belong to Dave Sharp, Dave Starr, the sheriff many years ago. It's on Nebraska and Mills. The tax assessment on the property is $191,000. I was told if you just take the $200,000 and add another $250,000, that's what the reverse mortgage will do the guidance on, which means they'll give me $190,000. Does that sound correct?
Yeah, it's close, and I think like anything else, you should shop around for reverse mortgages, just like anything else in life. Whether you're getting a regular mortgage or hiring a lawyer, shop around. I think everyone should interview 3 people. So if you're hiring a financial advisor, Tom,
Yeah.
I want you to go interview 3 financial advisors, or
Absolutely.
3 certified financial
Sure.
planners, like my buddy Ron Christopher. I send people to him all the time, and I say you need to interview 3 people at a time, just like reverse mortgages. Reverse mortgages can be fantastic for some people, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm a little more concerned with whatever tax implications we might have had from the transfer of the property to Richard. That's something we have to deal with first, and that can be dealt with. But if you're looking for a reverse mortgage, you just need to shop it around. I am not anti-reverse mortgage guy here. I am really not. What I don't like about Richard is that he's probably has a 6-pack and I don't. He said he was a personal trainer for how long?
30 years.
I don't like this at all, man. I do not like that.
Yeah.
Anytime someone's 83 and they're calling into my show and they're sexier than I am, now, Tom, that's my problem.
He sounded like a young man.
What do you think about that?
You are what you reap what you sow.
Do you work out, Tom?
Sure.
How much?
I do push-ups away from the dinner table.
You mow the yard.
Yeah, that's about it.
Do you really do push-ups?
No.
Okay.
I haven't done a push-up since the Army days.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So when you're in the Army, how many push-ups did they make you do in the morning?
Oh, geez, I don't remember.
I mean, every day they
at
make
least
you do
20,
it?
sure, in boot camp, sure.
I want to hear a little bit about boot camp, actually. I've always been very fascinated by this.
Oh, boy.
So when you show up there, so you go and sign up with the recruiter or whatever, and you
Right.
get to boot camp.
Right.
How does it go after that? I need to know this.
Our first weekend was strictly KP duty. I can remember doing 12 hours worth of peeling potatoes in the mess hall.
What does KP mean?
Kitchen police patrol.
Is that like a cook?
Yeah, helping out the cooks. Sure.
Well, I'm really kitchen police. Does that mean you're cooking or you're policing the cooks?
You're doing the grunt work and letting the chefs do the cooking.
Really?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But when you're at boot camp, they still make you do exercise and get all in shape, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I went in at 185. I got out at 152.
Really?
Yeah.
But so if you're just being, I'm sorry, this is just funny to me. If you're just really protecting the cooks, why do you have to be in such good shape?
Well, we're not just protecting our cooks.
What were you doing?
That was part of the induction. The start of your boot camp. They make you realize that you're no longer a civilian, so they put you on KP duty for like an entire weekend.
You've got to be kidding me.
No.
That's good. Did you enjoy that part of your life or what?
Oh, absolutely not.
No?
It was fine. At the time, you hate going through it, but when years later you look back on it, and you kind of, say, hey, those were the good old days.
How long were you in the service?
3 years.
And do you get text messages from friends saying, thank you for serving the country on Memorial or on Veterans Day?
A few, yeah.
Yeah, not a lot.
Yeah. I go out like most veterans and look for a free meal somewhere.
Well, it's funny because the military is very important to us as a country. It
Mhm.
really is. And
Sure.
and to run this military, we need money, right?
Yeah.
And how do we collect money as a society and as a country? How do we collect money? It's through taxation.
Yeah.
It's through the IRS, okay? And a lot of you are dealing with IRS problems. And again, we have tax time coming up if you have filed an extension and you're a corporation, your taxes are due on September 15th of 2016. If you're an individual, they are due on October 15th, and now is the time to act. And here's what I'm going to do, Tom.
Yeah.
Between now and September 15th and between now and October 15th, I'm offering 25% off all tax services through my law firm. And you say, well, Justin, I don't understand. You own a law firm, pal. What do you mean you do taxes? Well, a big part of my law firm is dealing with not only tax problems, but making your taxes correct. So look, the option is you go online and you can go to TurboTax or these other tax softwares. You can do it yourself. No problem. Or you can go down the street to the little shopping mall that's going to turn into the Halloween store. You go there on February and March. You go to one of those prepare your tax places. You can do that. That's fine.
Sure.
And for if you're just a W-2 employee and you're not making a lot of money, maybe that's not the worst thing to do. That's okay. But if you do have a few assets or you're self-employed, why would you go down to the pop-up store at the strip mall? You know they're not even going to be there in November when the IRS comes calling.
Well, not only that, but then every year it's not the same clerks that you go back the next year and there's somebody else again.
You don't even know if the store is going to be there next week.
That's true.
And you know what stores I'm talking about, guys.
Yeah.
Why not hire a law firm who, for the same price as these little pop-up stores, will handle all of your taxes for you? And we're not going anywhere. Now, here's the thing, and here's my promise to you. If we handle your tax returns and someone comes knocking on the door, they want to do an audit, they have questions, who's going to be there for you? It's me. It's me and my law firm. We're going to be there for you. It's not any more expensive.
Sure.
But we're going to be there for you. You're going to have a law firm there backing you from day one to say that everything was done properly.
Absolutely.
But also here, this is Justin Clark here, live on a Friday, telling you I'm offering 25% off all of our tax services between now and October 15th. So if you're a late filer and you own a corporation, you own a business, you got to file by September 15th.
We had Steve from your office last week, and he's a sharp guy. He's your tax accountant.
Smart guy.
Right?
He's our main tax accountant. He's a very, very sharp guy.
Yeah.
But he can't offer 25% off.
No, but
he doesn't
can.
own the firm, and I can.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm offering 25% off any of your tax filings that need to be done between September and October of this year. Or also, I want to extend that to, because I believe this is the best time of year to repair old tax problems as well. So, let's say you've been getting the letter, you owe money, all right, or you have unfiled returns. There's no better time than now to say, hey, IRS, I want to get back in the system. I want to be a good, law-abiding taxpayer. And we're going to start right now. So if you have tax problems from the past, the same 25% off deal extends to you guys as well.
That's great.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to ask me questions on the air, 407-916-5400. Off the air, 321-282-1055. The website is www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. Tom, you should go to my website soon. I got this new chat thing. Have you been to websites with a chat box?
Sure, yeah.
Well, I have a new one. Here's what I've done. Let me tell you a story.
All right.
So literally, guys, if you want to ask me a question, you can go to my website and click the chat button.
That pops up?
Yeah, I paid some guys in India, and they would do like the generic, hey, what is your tax problem? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or what is your legal question?
Sure.
And then I would just get a report back saying, oh, call this person.
Mm-hmm.
It literally now goes to my phone. So, right, you see my phone right here?
Yeah.
So if someone goes to my chat box, it goes directly to me.
Wow.
I answer all chat questions.
Oh, man.
So if you have a question, you can always go to www.youhavepower.com, youhavepower.com, and you will literally be chatting with me. Now, I recommend not doing it at like 3 a.m. because Pilar might think it's a booty call or something. So, yeah, try to do it at a reasonable hour. But, I mean, I literally am there to answer your questions. I mean, that's what I'm here for, right? So feel free, www.youhavepower.com. And again, look, I've been through tax problems. Everyone I know really who's a business owner has had issues with the IRS. We have corporate returns due September 15th. That's less than a month away. And we have individual late filing returns due October 15th, which is less than 2 months away. So my thinking is, let's deal with it now. Let's deal with it together. We don't charge a lot, but I'm also going to give you 25% off our already low, flat legal fees for tax preparation and tax mitigation. Hector, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great.
Welcome to the show. What's up?
Tax question. The tax implication of a home given from a father to a son, either via probate or as opposed to the father still alive and he gives it to the son and he signs it off on a deed. I want to know what the tax implications are for both scenarios.
Yeah, and thanks a lot for the question. There are a lot of different implications there. First of all, anytime you transfer property, you have to think in terms of, is there a mortgage on the property? Do I have to pay all these doc stamps and taxes and things like that? But you're saying this guy he's just gifting it over to you, or?
Yes. There's no mortgage.
No mortgage whatsoever. I mean, it depends on a lot of different factors, actually. But if it looks like just a gift to the IRS, there could be some tax implications. And I mean, there are so many things going on there. You might need to call us off the air, 321-282-1055. But tell me one more time, you're giving it to him or he's giving it to you?
No, it's giving it to me.
All right. And how did this come about? Was there an exchange of cars, or just literally giving it to you?
No. It's my father giving me a property. So I'm just wondering what the tax implication would be if he held on to the property until he passed away, or if I was to transfer the deed to my name right now, what would be the tax implication?
Absolutely. And this is almost a probate/tax question, and there's so many different things that you can do. There's a plethora of options, and we can absolutely do that tax-free, but you got to make sure you do it the right way. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we can make it happen really quickly, and we'll do it the right way. So give us a call, 321-282-1055. My name is Justin Clark. This is News Radio 102.5, live with Tom Benson, who's doing double duty tonight because Rob had called in sick with, sneezies?
He says he has the sneezies.
So
I don't know if that's allergies or he's coming down with something or what the deal is.
In the studio is 407-916-5400. Is that right?
Yeah.
Scratched out.
We didn't want to. That's correct. We didn't want to, catch the sneezies from him, so we told him to stay home.
Or if you want to talk to an attorney off the air, that number is 321-282-1055. The website is www.youhavepower.com. And every year about this time, I do the same thing on the show. And this is only for the fans of the show. I mean, this is not for everyone who walks in off the street, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know taxes are coming up for people who are filing late. And look, you know who you are. You're business owners. Those of you who have a W-2 income, you normally file on time. But if you're a business owner, you get that extension, the automatic extension. For businesses, until September 15th. For individuals, until October 15th. And they do that for the obvious reason. If you own businesses, you can't file your tax returns personally until the business returns are done. Does that make sense, Tom?
Sure does, yeah.
But every time this year, to try to get you to not be stressed out about owing money to the IRS anymore, and let's get back in the system, and let's say, IRS, we're going to do the right thing now. Please work with us. I'm offering 25% off any sort of tax problem that you have, whether we're just filing taxes for you or whether we have to deal with problems from the past. It's 25% off now through October 15th. But you have to say you heard it right here on Behind the Law with me, Justin Clark, and we're gonna handle your tax situation for you.
And you can also help people who have already heard from the IRS in not a pleasant way, right?
That's my favorite client, Tom, because this is the client who comes in and says just in tears.
Yeah, sure, I bet.
Yeah, I say it on the show all the time. You're up at night at 3 a.m. looking through the DVR, watching terrible TV shows because you can't sleep, turning your pillow over at night, all night. You can't sleep.
Yeah.
And now it's affecting your job. If you can't sleep and you're rolling around all night scared about the big bad boogeyman IRS coming to get you or knocking on the door or coming to take money out of your Wells Fargo personal account or coming to shut down your business, how can you sleep, Tom? You know?
Oh, yeah.
You can't.
And then you're wiped out for the next day at work.
Then you're wiped out the next day at work.
Yeah.
And then you come home from work, and now you can't spend time with your family because you're too tired to spend time with your family.
Yeah.
It's a domino effect. But here's the funny thing about it. As scary as it is, and look, they can come get you. They can come garnish your wages. They can come levy your bank accounts. They can. But the great thing about it is, if you do something about it, they won't. They will work with you. They want you to get back in the system. They want you to pay your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side of the break here in a couple minutes, we're going to talk about a few ways to deal with them, whether it's an offer in compromise or a settlement agreement, a payment plan, essentially, with them. Or even if you have a lot of IRS debt, possibly a bankruptcy. There are so many different ways to deal with this problem that I don't want you to think about it as a problem. Think about it as a problem with a really, really, really good solution.
Yeah.
And there are so many ways to deal with it. Because at the end of the day, face it, Tom, medical problems, number one,
Mm-hmm.
financial problems, number two. At the top of the financial problem list is the IRS.
Absolutely.
I'm not as worried about Amex,
Right.
but when it comes to IRS, I am worried. And on the other side of this break, we're going to talk about offers and compromise. We're going to talk about payment plans. We're going to talk about maybe you wipe it out with a bankruptcy. There's so many ways to deal with your IRS problems. My name is Justin Clark. We have 30 more minutes ahead here. 321-282-1055 or 407-916-5400. See you in a second.
Listening to You Have Power Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark. For personalized help with your legal issues, visit youhavepower.com or call 321-282-1055. Now, back in studio with more expert legal advice, here's Justin Clark.
What a week, Tom, huh? Oh, my goodness, I'm wiped out. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling good, but I'm always looking forward to
gosh.
the weekend. That's why you have the weekend.
I can't wait, except I'll be in the office all day tomorrow.
Oh, boy. Well, you do those Saturday hours.
Well, that's what I do. I just feel like the clients that I have need to go to work. You know, they need to work and make money because they're going through a tough time, whether it's taxes or foreclosure, bankruptcy, whatever. That's why I make myself available for clients on Saturday. So you don't have to take off Monday through Friday.
That's great.
And if you have any questions, if you don't want to talk to me on the air, 321-282-1055. But if you do want to talk to us on the air, that's no problem. 407-916-5400. It is Justin Clark and Tom Benson here live in the studio at News Radio 1025. Let's go to Travis in Mount Dora, Lake County. How are you, Lake County?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Justin, for taking my call.
You got it, pal. What's up?
Curious if you could talk about how taxes work inside of a trust, particularly like investments. It's my understanding that trusts are taxed at a compressed tax rate. Could you kind of talk about that and explain that a little bit?
Yeah, sure. And there are a lot of different rules and very complicated rules when it comes to taxes within a trust versus taxes with a corporation or individual. And did you have a trust already set up, Travis, or what's up?
I don't yet. I have some people that I know that have it, and it said it can be a good idea, especially kind of looking towards estate planning.
Sure.
You know, I've seen some people where it made a lot of sense.
Right.
But I'm not quite clear on that. Like you said, there seems to be a lot of different rules
There are
regarding that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Tom, what I would suggest for anyone, whether you're Travis or anyone else, even if you don't have a lot of assets, is you need to look at a full estate plan.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is where estate planning and taxes work hand in hand. You know, good thing at the law firm, we do estate planning all the time. We do tax work all the time. Because if you can create a fantastic estate plan and you can look at it and say, okay, I need to create a trust or I don't. Because you really need, everyone thinks they're going to live forever, right? I'm going to live forever. You, Tom?
Well, yeah.
Although maybe tonight I don't feel like I'm going to. But
or you just don't want to face reality, so you put it off.
Yeah, if you go talk to me or someone else who does this kind of work, you can sit down and say, here's what I got to do. I have this asset, I have this asset, I have this much cash in the bank, and figure out exactly how you want to divide that if something were to happen to you. Because here's what really happens, you know. Someone passes away.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a trust set up. They don't have the estate plan going on. Now, who deals with all the tax problems?
Yeah.
It's your benefit. You're trying to give them money. You're trying to be nice and leave them money. Yet now they're dealing with all the tax consequences. So you really need to start, really at an early age, getting all these things set up.
At what age should somebody set up a trust, or at what age should somebody make sure they have a will in place?
Look, I mean, yeah, I should probably say 18, but I mean, I think at 35. I think 35 is a good age where you really need to start looking at it and making sure everything is taken care of. Because if you do die without all of that stuff set up, who's dealing with it? You know, and even if you don't have a lot of money, someone's going to have to deal with these problems. They're going to have to deal with Amex calling, and so estate planning and trust and taxes, they all go together so much. And I think, especially if you have any assets whatsoever, you have to make sure you sit down with someone. It's not very expensive.
Right.
You know, go call a law firm like mine who would never charge you a penny for a consultation. We would never charge you a dime to come in and talk to us. There are plenty of law firms out there that are going to charge you $300, $400 just to come in. We're not going to do that. Let's sit down and really look at it and see what's best. I've had a million people come in and say, look, I want to set up a trust. And I say, there's no reason for a trust here. You can do a simple will and deal with all of your issues at once. And so there are just plenty of things that you need to know to save your beneficiaries from a lot of headaches if something were to happen to you.
So your advice to Travis at Mount Dora or to anybody else is to give the office a call.
You got to give us a call. 321-282-1055. Let's spend a little time together and figure out what's best for your situation. Every situation is a little bit different. But at the same time, we've seen every situation at this point. You know what I mean? And there's going to be a solution that's going to save your beneficiaries a lot of tax headaches. But let's say it's just you. Let's say you were the one with the tax problem. You're the one getting the tax bill. You know, the white envelope with the green little sticky thing on top that says certified mail.
Yeah.
That makes your heart drop a little bit. Makes your heart sink in your chest a little bit. Makes you stay up at night.
Well, you brought up a good point by saying the snail mail coming to your house, because there's scams going around where people call on the phone saying, I'm from the IRS and you owe me money you owe us money right away. Just hang up on them and
call the FBI.
Okay.
I don't know that they're going to respond, but absolutely. If the IRS ever calls you, it is a scam.
Yeah.
They don't call you. They will not call you. They will send you letters. At the end of the day, they will come to your house if they have to. But do not ever, don't give your credit card over the phone for anything, but especially for the IRS, because they will not call you. Okay, so let's be very clear about that. But let's say you're out there, let's say Tom Benson has a lot of IRS. Let's say you have $80,000 in IRS debt.
Oh, boy.
And you're scared. You're afraid they're going to come steal all the money out of your account, and you're not going to be able to buy milk for the baby, or you're not going to be able to pay for the tuition.
And I need that car.
And you got to pay the car note, and you got to pay the insurance. You have to pay the mortgage. As a father myself, and as many of you know, you're family people. If someone were to come in and take all the money out of your bank account, it's going to be very, very bad. It's going to be the most traumatic financial experience, maybe most traumatic experience of your life.
Your troubles just snowball at that point.
So what do you do? And my suggestion is this. It's called an offer in compromise. Now, the United States government is spending more money than ever right now. You hear about the deficit, and you hear about all the money they're spending. To spend a lot of money, they need to bring in money. Okay, so they're being more aggressive in collection to bring in the money. But here's the other side of that. They're doing more deals to get your money. And an offer in compromise is just that. It's a fancy word for a settlement. It's like if you owed American Express and you stopped paying them, and they called you and said, "Oh, you owe us $10,000, we'll take $3,000." An offer in compromise is just that. It's a settlement. You're making a settlement with the federal government. Now, these settlements, they're not easy. I mean, it just doesn't happen overnight. They take some time. They take some work.
So if I owe $80,000 in taxes and I offer a settlement, how low can I go? What kind of a settlement would that be?
Well, we're going to talk about that a little bit. But number one, you need to listen to this. Do not call these guys on national TV who are not lawyers, who you know they're advertising in California and Minnesota and Florida and Michigan and Tennessee. Do not call them, because these people go on TV. First of all, you'll never talk to that guy for sure. You'll be lucky if you ever talk to anyone at that office again. It's not a law firm. If you ever talk to anyone at that office again, you send them money, you send them a check, or you give them a credit card. What if you never hear it? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go to say, I want my money back?
Nowhere.
Okay? And so they spend a lot of money on advertising, put a lot of dollars into national TV advertising to take your money, saying they're going to settle for pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where's the accountability?
They claim to be former IRS agents.
If they don't call you back, where are you going to go knock on the door saying, hey, what? You took my money. The IRS is still calling me. Where are you going to go? So number one rule in an offer and compromise is do not call these national TV advertising people. Okay? You understand that?
Oh, absolutely.
Don't call them. But here's the government's philosophy now. It's the whole bird in the hand, or take what you can get mentality.
Yeah.
They're looking at it like, okay, he's only making 20 grand a year and he owes us 100 grand. Are we going to take 1,000 or are we just never going to get anything? It's a settlement, right?
Yeah.
It's just like a business decision, like American Express would do, or like Bank of America would do. But it's also good for the IRS in a way, too, because it puts you back in good standing with them. So now next year, you're going to be like, great, now I'm in good standing. I'm going to pay my taxes. I don't ever feel this way again. So it's good for the IRS, too, to make a settlement with you because you're back in the system.
If your taxes go back a number of years, does that make the IRS more anxious to settle?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, I wouldn't say so, but they definitely want to get you back in the system.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to make you a good, upstanding taxpayer again because they need money.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't they?
Absolutely.
They need money. Now, this isn't the IRS being sweet. I mean, they're not just trying to be nice to you here. Don't think that this is a birthday gift. They're making business decisions. Does that make sense, Tom?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So when you owe them $80,000 and they want to settle for $5,000, this is not them sending you a greeting card. This is them making a business decision, just like any other business would make. And again, don't forget, the government needs money. They got to buy ships and things. They got to pay for people to be. What was it? What were you doing?
So I was in the Army.
But the cook thing.
Oh, KP.
Yeah. He was like, what is that?
Kitchen police or patrol.
Cook protector.
Yeah.
Tom was a cook protector in the Army. We have to pay for this stuff. And if we're going to be the best military in the world, we need money, right? But the government is now thinking in terms of a regular business. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You owe us money. Can I take $5,000 now, or am I going to take $0 and spend money trying to collect it?
Wow.
And this is an offer and compromise, guys.
Yeah.
This is what an offer and compromise is. It's a settlement. Now, they don't accept all of them. Look, you have to go through a process. You can't just call and say, hey, government, what's up, government? I know I owe you 80 G's, but can I give you $1,000 right now and call it a day? It doesn't work like that. You have to fall into certain categories. And there are 3 main categories to qualify for this offer and compromise. Number 1 is the taxpayer can't pay.
All right.
Makes sense, right? Number 2 is the taxpayer believes they don't owe the tax.
Ooh, nice.
And lastly, the taxpayer can pay, but it would create a tremendous hardship. And I'm going to get into these 3. But as a lawyer who also handles personal injury cases, it's very analogous to if you get hit in the rear by someone, you have to decide who you're going to sue, who you're not going to sue.
Mm-hmm.
The government's thinking, who am I going to really come after? Who am I not going to come after? Right? So number 1 is the taxpayer can't pay. They label it doubt as to collectability. What does that mean? Well, they're going to look at your assets. And they're also going to look at how much do they think you could pay them over the next 5 years. And what that really means is, okay, if we put them on an installment agreement, which we'll talk about in a few minutes,
Mm-hmm.
are they going to be able to pay a substantial portion of their income over the next 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it better to just take a little bit now?
Yeah.
So this is the government in this offer and compromise situation thinking, we have a little bit of doubt as to Justin Clark's collectability. So maybe it makes more sense to do an offer and compromise with Justin Clark or Tom Benson
Mm-hmm.
and take a little bit now as opposed to $0 later.
Yeah.
Number 2, there's a doubt as to liability. This is like if you, let's say I had a client that came in and they got hit on the side of the car, okay? And I send a demand letter to the insurance company and say, hey, we're suing you. It was your fault. Definitely your fault. And the guy comes back and says, it wasn't my fault. It was your client's fault.
Yeah.
So now sometimes in that situation, you kind of, maybe the case is worth $100,000, but you settle for $50,000 because there's a doubt as to liability.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in tax.
Yeah.
the government has a doubt whether they are actually owed that money or not. So sometimes if there's a doubt as to whether you owe the government the money, you can settle in the middle somewhere.
I would think they would also take into account your age, the probability of you getting a better job or getting unemployed again at all.
It's very much a part of what they consider. You're absolutely right. And that is really number 3, too, is hardship. So let's say you have a life-threatening condition, okay? You owe the IRS $80,000, Tom Benson. But yet, God forbid, you come down with a terrible disease and you say, government, I know I owe you $80,000, but the chances of me living for the next 2 years are slim to none.
Yeah.
Or 5 years are virtually non-existent. So what's the government to do there? Wouldn't they rather take a few grand now as opposed to $0,000 later? Does that make sense?
It sure does, yeah.
So number 3 is really hardship. And they also look at people on a fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
So you're on Social Security, or you're just getting the railroad pension from Pennsylvania. It's a tongue twister. And that's all you have coming in forever. That's all you're going to have. And you have a certain amount of expenses, and you're getting that pension, and that's it. They have to look at these things. Or what if, and here's one you don't think about a lot. What if it's a business owner that they rely on their business to generate all of their income, Tom?
Well, their cash, sure.
Yet, if the government were to come after them for the entire 80, it's going to shut down their business. Now, what does that do?
Yeah.
If it shuts down their business, now that's less cash flow for the government.
Yeah.
And they're going to get zero because this guy's going to file bankruptcy.
Yeah. So
the government really looks at the effect it's going to have on your business when they decide whether they want to enter into an offer and compromise with you or not. It makes sense, right?
Yeah. Does the IRS seem to work with businesses more often or better, favorable conditions than an individual person, or it just depends on situations?
It depends on the situation, but the IRS does not look very favorably upon the business who steals trust fund money. Do you know what I mean by trust fund money, or do you mean to tell you?
Tell me.
So if you're a business owner and you have employees, you know what I'm talking about. You pay them every 2 weeks or bi-monthly, however you pay them, and you withhold a certain amount of money that you got to send that check to the IRS, right?
Sure.
Now, there's a small amount that the employer is responsible for, yes, but then there's also a larger amount that you withhold from your staff, from your individual employees that you're withholding. That is money that does not belong to you no matter what.
Yeah.
It belongs to, if anyone, it belongs to the employee. But then it really belongs to the government because that's the taxes your employees pay. But now you're withholding that, and the government trusts you to send that to them.
Yeah.
That's called the trust fund. Now, if you mess with the trust fund, the government gets very, very upset quickly. And they don't really want to – they're okay shutting down your business for that one. But if you're just a regular business owner, they don't want your business shut down because they're not going to get anything from you.
Yeah.
So they're very likely to enter into an offer and compromise for a business owner. Now, is an offer and compromise or an OIC easy? Do you just call up and say, "Yo, Gov, hook me up. I'll give you a G"? It doesn't work like that. For the most part, we're going to have to submit a lot of financial documentation. As you know, I've gone through thousands and thousands of loan modifications for my clients. It's very similar, if not more oppressive financially. You're going to have to send 3 years of tax returns. You're going to have to do at least 12 months of bank statements, at least 12 months of income, expenses. I mean, canceled checks, everything. We really have to show the government what's really going on in our household. You're going to have to pay a filing fee. We're going to have to go through a very financially intensive process to get this thing done. But let's think about it, Tom. You owe $80,000, and they might take 5 or 10. Is it worth it?
I'd say so, sure.
Now, do you think you'd want to do this yourself?
No, sir.
Or would you want to call someone like me, Justin Clark?
You got it.
At 321-282-1055. The website is www.youhavepower.com. That is youhavepower.com. Feel free to click on the little chat thing on the bottom right. It actually goes directly to me.
Wow.
I deal with it myself. It comes right to my phone, and if you ask me a question, I will literally answer right from my phone. It's crazy.
I'm going to see if that works at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Don't. Again, Pilar will think it's a booty call. Don't do it. But if you do it, please use the name Tom, not something like Sarah, if you know what I'm saying. Deal? Deal, Tom?
Deal. You
Pinky
got
swear?
it. Yeah, you got it.
Pinky swear? Anyway, 321-282-1055. If you have questions on the phone number is 407-916-5400. We're talking about your tax problems and how to resolve them, more importantly. Because for you late filers, a.k.a. you self-employed people, September 15th, the corporate returns are due, and October 15th, your personal returns are due. Let's use this tax season to rectify your problems from past tax seasons. And for my listeners, on Behind the Law with Justin and Clark, right here on News Radio 102.5, I'm doing 25% off every single legal fee, whether it's just filing and preparing your taxes for you or dealing with your years and years of past tax problems. But you have to tell me, you have to tell my staff you heard this show. I can't do it for everybody, Tom. I can't. But I promise you, we will do 25% off any tax problem that you have. And this is not one of those deals where I'm going to raise the price 25% and say, yeah, 25% discount and raise the price.
It's done elsewhere.
The price is the flat fee. You can pay it over time. And I'm going to take my little calculator and go times 0.25. I'm going to subtract it from the regular fee. I promise. You have my word.
So Tom owes $80,000. How does that fit in the grand scheme of the cases you've seen? Is that average? Is that low? Is that high, or what? Give me an idea of what kind of dollars we're talking about from regular people.
Unfortunately, it's pretty average. Here's what happens. So a lot of people who are self-employed, they will take, instead of paying taxes quarterly for themselves, they will take the money and reinvest it. And it really happened during the real estate boom here. They would take money from their business and invest in real estate. Boom, 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 boom. What you don't understand is when you spend money on real estate out of your corporate account, that money's taxable, guys. I mean, that is taxable income that's going to go directly to you. Mm-hmm. Make no mistake. Now, when that investment implodes or doesn't go up, now what do we have? Now we're stuck with a huge tax liability, and the money that we invested into that rental home down the street that's worth $0 now?
Yeah. It's almost like double.
How are we going to pay?
It's almost like double jeopardy.
Double jeopardy.
Yeah.
And now you're screwed. Now that's how you owe $80,000 overnight.
Yeah.
It's not like you really had $80,000 in your pocket, you know? It's not like $80,000 fell out of your pocket. Mm-hmm. It didn't feel like real money to you.
Yeah.
But to the IRS, it was real money. There's no way to delineate between money that was actually in your pocket and money that is attributable towards you.
Plus, there's penalties that late charges and all that kind of stuff.
Penalties, interest, and all that sort of thing. And that's why there's never been a better time than to engage the IRS in an offer and compromise. Now, let's say they decline you, or maybe they decline you in the past. If there's been any sort of change of circumstance, a change of financial circumstance in your life or in your household, we can reapply. You're not limited to just one time. If there's been a change of financial circumstances, we can try again. But also, I've had many people we've tried to do an offer and compromise or an OIC with, and it didn't work out. Now what do you do? What do you do? It's called a payment plan, an installment agreement. You can do an installment agreement. And that's a perfect plan. They will oftentimes waive the penalties and things like that, and now you just pay them over time. It's a beautiful thing. So the moral of the story, Tom, is if you owe taxes, please don't roll around on your bed at night. There are so many things that you can do, and you can call my law firm for 25% off between now and October 15th. We're going to deal with the tax problems for you, and you'll hear us right back here next week on News Radio 102. I don't know much, Tom,
but you know one thing.
I'll see you right back here next week on News Radio 102.5.
Thanks for listening to You Have Power Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark from the law firm Justin Clark & Associates. For personalized help with your legal challenges, visit youhavepower.com and tune in every Friday at 6 p.m. for more expert answers to your legal questions here on News Radio 102.5 WFLA.